It's the 10th of July, 1926, the opening day of the third test of the Ashes, and the series is in the balance after 2 draws. England have everything to play for. They've been dominated by Australia since the end of the First World War, suffering humiliating defeats in 3 series. But this could be their chance to change all that. They have a formidable team, featuring players who would go on to be some of the most celebrated names in English cricketing history. Jack Hobbs, Herbert Sutcliffe, Frank Woolley, Maurice Tate, and they are led by Arthur Carr, a man who could inspire a side and score gorgeous runs despite still being an amateur, as all English cricket captains were at that time. And for this third test, a new name has been added to the team. George Macaulay, born in Thirsk, a Yorkshire stalwart and a local hero. Admittedly a difficult man, but he's earned his place. George should bring some fire to the bowling, and England will need it. Heavy rain has fallen overnight and the pitch is soaked. These are the days of uncovered pitches, which means mud and sawdust. But this morning, the sun is shining, drying out the sticky wicket and turning it bouncy and unpredictable. It could be a batter's nightmare in just a few overs. Captain Arthur Carr has a big decision to make if he wins the toss. Does he send his men out to bat in potentially terrible conditions? Or bowl and take advantage of the drying pitch? It's his choice, but in reality, no one chooses to bowl first in a test match, at least not in 1926. Even so, one of Carr's bowlers would be perfect for this pitch. Charlie Parker is a left-arm spinner and well known to be deadly in the damp, which makes Carr's decision to leave him out of the team utterly inexplicable. A ripple goes through the team. Carr must be planning to bat first if he wins the toss. It's the only explanation. And so the captains emerge, exchanging smiles and handshakes. The coin is in the air. The Aussie captain, Warren Bardsley, calls incorrectly. But what's this? Carr hasn't decided yet. Everyone waits anxiously until he makes his call. England will bowl first. As the sides emerge, there is a rousing reception for local lad George Macaulay. But it is Maurice Tate who will bowl the first over. First ball, the Australian batter and captain Warren Bardsley is caught at slip. A cracking start. The new batter Charlie McCartney manages to get a few runs, but he looks like a goner when he edges the 5th ball to slip. But an awkward Carr drops the ball and McCartney escapes. There is a shocked silence from the home crowd and some awkward looks between the other fielders. Maybe Macaulay will have more luck as he bowls the second over. No chance. Feeling cocky now, McCartney attacks the Yorkshire bowler until he crumbles with loose deliveries and poor fielding. Meanwhile, McCartney is racking up the runs. Carr changes his bowlers, but after the first hour, McCartney has reached 50 and shows no signs of slowing down. And, to the grudging admiration of the crowd, McCartney has his century before lunch. Only one man had ever done that before on the first day of a test match. Only another 4 have achieved it since. By lunch, Australia are 153 for 1. And whilst McCartney gets a hero's welcome from his teammates, Carr goes into silence and sidelong glances. What was he thinking? Leaving out Parker, choosing to bowl, and that fumbled catch. Maybe things will be better after lunch? They're not. Despite the overnight weather, it's a batter's pitch, and the runs keep coming. There is some relief as Macaulay gets McCartney out for 151, but by the end of the day, only 3 wickets have fallen. And the second day starts as bad as the first for England. By lunch, Australia are finally all out for 494. Can England save face by securing a draw? It doesn't look like it. The middle order collapses. Carr is LBW to McCartney for just 13. Not long before the end of the second day, the 8th wicket falls. England are 182 for 8. Hopes aren't high when Macaulay comes to the crease. He survives until the end of play, hitting some nice shots to reach 18. But everyone is resigned to England losing on the 3rd day. But the next morning, Macaulay clearly has other ideas. He bats beautifully, better than he ever has before, while George Geary blocks resolutely at the other end. Macaulay has the crowd on his side as he gives them a show, and for a while, it looks like he might make a century of his own. But he's out just before lunch for 76. A few minutes later, and England are all out for 294 and have to follow on. But the runs don't matter. Macaulay has taken a session out of the game. England do not have to survive for too long, and thanks to the legendary opening pair of Hobbs and Sutcliffe, they easily bat out time. The match is drawn, the game is saved, the series is still level. England are alive. And Macaulay? He might be the hero of this match, but he wasn't picked for his batting. The England management saw him stumble under pressure when he was bowling, and now they're questioning the Yorkshireman's temperament. George Macaulay is dropped for the next game. But what about the captain? Arthur Carr never quite lives down the game. You can't put the opposition into bat and drop a catch like that, especially after leaving out your best bowler. And things go from bad to worse for him in the next test. He falls ill after the first day, tonsillitis, allegedly. It's the last straw, and he's replaced as captain for the last test by fan favourite Percy Chapman. England win the match and the Ashes, and Chapman gets all the glory, which is something Carr and Macaulay never quite got over.